most exotic goods on the planet. All here, in one stall.
Check the leading against me. Ah, and here comes the rare pearl, the diamond in the rough that my Nisha tells me about. Come, young man.
Zachariah Mancer. was a lieutenant in Abundance.
Then welcome to Noctis Labyrinthus, Zachariah Mancer, former lieutenant of Abundance. I am Dandolo, head of this fair city.
Legendary city of the merchants. Apparently less legend than I thought. Or been told.
But hopefully as glorious as legends proclaim. Regardless, for all who come seeking asylum, it opens its arms to you and your companions. You are free to call it home. Like all who have come before you, you will honor our only request, that you make yourselves useful to our city. I'm sure your skills will place you in high demand. Noctis' first Technomancer. Exciting. You'll have all the help you need with Nisha and Lucky, who I believe you've met. We'll give you a room to get some rest. I hear your trip was quite eventful. There is something else. I would like to personally discuss my expectations of you. You hear? War between Abundance and Aurora's winding down. Aurora took Green Hope.
Just left Ophir a few hours ago and didn't hear anything about that.
That really surprise you? Your little censorship office probably hasn't decided what to do with the information yet. No. Don't look at me like that. You don't belong to Abundance anymore. The truce doesn't behoove us. During peace, the corporations become more suspicious of us and our business suffers. Our city could even be discovered, which would be catastrophic. In legend, it must remain.
What do you...
No, let me speak. Your welcome here comes at a price. I want you to attack an Aurora convoy. It's right up your alley.
And why would I do that?
I didn't finish. You will do it in Abundance uniforms, dissolving the truce. Do what you want with the soldiers, but let the civilians live. They need to be witnesses that will report back to Aurora.
So you keep the war going?
Precisely. And while you're at it, bring back the uniforms of the Aurora Technomancers you dispatch. I'm sure I'll find a use for them down the road. Another thing, much more trivial this time, I assure you. The Rover you came in on, I'd like you to move it. Put it wherever you want, do whatever you want with it. Just make sure it's not in the way in the canyon. I just don't want Ophir to stumble over the machine and, as a result, find the road that leads here.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Oh yes, one last thing. My spies gave me a little tidbit that might interest you. Right after your escape, the ASC arrested your Technomancer brothers. That's what you call them, right? From Ophir. Their fate's uncertain, but if I was you, I'd be worried for them. If you're worried enough to want to help them, maybe we can set up some sand sails to get you back.
And your help comes at what cost? Assuming it's not out of the kindness of your heart.
Don't be so bitter, Zachariah. Business is business, not personal. I just thought a few Technomancers on our side might be useful.
You want to attack a convoy to reignite a war? You know how many people die in those wars? How many are mutilated? Taken prisoner?
Not precisely. but I think I have a clear idea of the numbers, yeah. Every battle has its purpose, Zachariah Mancer. Abundance has fought Aurora for years for more power, out of idealism that their philosophies are more righteous than Aurora's. We don't just fight the corporations because of their damned ideals. What we do for our survival, for the survival of the misfits of Mars, the rejected, the poor, the outcasts of corporations. We fight for those who find a home with us, those I promised to protect. This mission worries you, and I get that. I do. Which is why I'm not asking you to attack your old brothers in arms, but rather just carry out the same attacks you did countless times before, under different command.
I don't know how I can move the rover. Pretty damaged.
I'm sure you can find a way to move it up here. Not sure sand sails can help, but maybe you can couple it to some ostriches. Maybe your explorer friend didn't tell you, but some corporations would start a war to own such a machine. I'd repair it if I were you. Hell, sell it if you don't think you'll ever need it. I'll be honest, though. Rovers offer freedom no other transportation does. Word is, they can even reach the North and South Poles. Just something to think about.
How'd you find out about my brothers so quickly?
Well, besides the fact that your accident and eventful arrival slowed you down, my messenger's sandsails make up in speed what they lack in protection. And of course, the arrests of Abundance's most powerful strike forces were worthy of dispatching agents to keep an eye on the situation. You haven't even given a thought to how this disrupts the current balance of forces, have you?
You know why they were arrested?
The official statement is that they were suspected of treason. Victor's pretext, I'm sure. He's a man who hates anything not under his control. Was probably planning this for quite a while. He didn't get what he wanted going at it indirectly, so he just took it head on. Whatever hope you have for their lives, I'd start to come to terms. They're probably being tortured for their secrets as we speak. And as soon as they give them up, they'll be executed. If you care about them...
What can you tell me about the Caravansary neighborhood?
It's the pulse of Noctis. The very first place built by traveling merchants. Built in the recesses of the labyrinth so they'd have a place to meet, trade, rest, drop their loads. Then the city exploded as it opened itself up to all those who were homeless elsewhere. And the simple building it once was became the beautiful palace it is today. It's still the place for merchants to gather, trade, swap tips and news, and get some rest. It's also become the home for the merchant prince, the elected chief of all traveling merchants.
What do you know about Aurora?
A young corporation. Aggressive, inventive, less backward than Abundance. And right now it's going through many changes. During the war, a man named Wisdom became its dowser. And because of him, Technomancers, who'd been kept from power for so long, now have quite a bit of influence, religious and political. No one knows what'll come of it, though. Only thing we know is that his alliance with the popular unions, which helped win a lot of battles, including the one over Greenhope, looks like it's become pretty fragile. And I admit I am concerned that this'll all lead to another bloodbath. It's just my concern, and I'm not always right, but I'm also rarely wrong.
What can you tell me about Abundance?
More than others, probably, because I see it all from the outside, and what I see isn't tainted by any loyalty to a mother country. Every last bit of it is harsh, from its structure to its hierarchy, and trust me, it's gonna topple one day. The administration's unending power leads to unending corruption, which keeps the Vori fed and keeps the control where it is. The plan is to stifle any bright young things in the corporation that might hope for promotion. Zachariah, we have two possible outcomes. One, Victor seizes power, Abundance survives, and crushes its own citizens beneath its boots. Or two, Abundance finds a way to evolve and liberate itself from its current ways of thinking. The type of regime there now, though, can only survive with an equally powerful leader, something Victor understands.
What are your thoughts on the ASC?
The cornerstone of Victor's dubious ascent to power. You want to deal with Abundance, you need to go through the ASC.
You think Victor's out to control Abundance?
Out to? No, he already does. Didn't your Technomancer friend's arrest prove that? A dowser to boot. Dowsers, the Assembly, whoever, all pawns to be sacrificed, or puppets to be manipulated in his games of blackmail, played with the secrets he's collected on everyone. He's brilliant, merciless, a master manipulator who's turned nearly every citizen into one of his agents, all without raising suspicion. Most in Abundance work for ASC ambitions, while those who don't will soon disappear.
I see your mutants walk around free here. They welcome, too?
And why wouldn't they be? They're the future of our planet, Zachariah. Though I'm sure that makes little sense to someone who grew up in a corporation that treats them like they are a lesser people. They work hard. They're excellent guides and artisans, perfect spies, and for me, key commercial partners for Noctis. It may be a surprise to you to learn that they hope to form a mutant nation someday, and I believe they have that right. So I've been supporting them with whatever meager means at my disposal.
I do not like that man. He's intelligent, but shifty. He wishes to fire up another conflict, another war. Blood, corpses, misery. Those things follow a merchant of death. We should never have left Ophir.
I would have died there, Scott. I'm sorry you had to come with me. I really am. You could have stayed, but I have to go see what Dandolo wants.
I know it sounds bad, but what do you think Abundance or Aurora would do if they found our little outcast city? Dandolo may be cruel, but in the end, he only wants what's good for Noctis.
You wanted to see me?
Yes. I apologize once again for having to play this role in front of you, but the situation was a difficult one, and I could not risk blowing my cover.
I understand. You're one of Dandolo's spies, too?
No, I work for my people, even if Dandolo was a precious ally. I was in Ophir to plan an escape, but it was not exactly what I wanted to tell you about. I would like to offer you my services.
You're also a mercenary?
No, I am not interested in serum. And a Technomancer ally, yes. It is rare for mutants to know someone with your talents. So if you need a hand or any information, you know where to find me. And maybe I will ask for your services once in a while.
All right. When did you discover that you were a mutant?
The first symptoms of mutation appeared when I was very young. I must say that I can't really remember very well. My mother noticed them, and she taught me how to hide the marks, even though I think that I didn't know what it meant. She was hoping to keep me close to her, but as soon as the first marks appeared on my face, they spotted me out right away. I will never forget my arrest, how violent they were toward my mother. I was just a kid. I was sent to one of the farms on the outskirts of town. That's where I learned what it meant to be a mutant.
What's the Mutant Nation? You created it, right?
It is a little overblown, but I was one of its founders, among many others. Of course, other mutants were living outside the city as runaway slaves, hidden here and there, stealing whatever they could find in order to survive. A small community had settled in Noctis and benefited from the hospitality of the merchants, who allowed them to move around freely. However, we did not have any way to defend ourselves or plan a future. We were all spread out. A few of us decided to get together. We found a place, a very unique one, and we soon started doing it up, bringing in equipment and erecting houses. As for me, I especially wanted to free as many brothers and sisters as possible. So I went back to Ophir, and I realized that nobody cared about mutants, especially if they didn't look very smart. I began to help dozens of them escape. And our nation soon began to grow. There are a lot of us now, and I hope that all mutants will be able to live there someday.
What can you tell me about Ophir's mutant pen?
You saw for yourself. Violent slave drivers and harsh work conditions have reduced mutants to beasts, to the point where even some find themselves yearning to be petted. I do not hate humans, you know that, but when I think about that place, I feel outbursts of hatred. I would like to break the walls and see my brothers and sisters get out of that hell. Someday, I think that I'll do it. I'll destroy the pen.
What does Noctis represent for you?
It is the city of our allies. Without it, Mutant Valley would have probably never come into existence, even if some of them think the opposite. This town is welcomed and still welcomes many runaway mutants. Here they can free themselves from the servile state they were in. Noctis is somehow the freedom school for many of them. Of course, it remains a human city, and segregation is sometimes present even if it is not official. And I don't completely agree with Dandolo's decisions, but overall it is a place that I love that boasts of mixing everyone together, of bringing all philosophies into dialogue with each other, and of welcoming the hopeless.
Hello, Amelia.
Hey. You know I'm mad at you, right? You realize what you did to me? You stole my Rover, took me to that strange city, and left her in the middle of nowhere. I know that you were nice to me, but still.
Dandolo wants me to bring your Rover back here.
Now he's just showing off. At least he knows how much a machine like that one is worth. Unlike you do realize that my Rover dates back to the settlers? I cared for her like a mother, maybe even more. Bring her back to me. She's got sentimental value and she's all I have left. In the meantime, I'll go find the tools to repair her. And I'd also like to talk to you in private, if you don't mind, regarding what you discovered in Ophir.
Hey there.
What do you want, human?
I took the Rover all the way down into the canyon. Unfortunately, that's where I hit a wild ostrich, and now the thing won't drive. Heard you might be able to help get it back here.
And why exactly would we want to help you? We who are just monsters to you and your kind, even here. One of us was just lynched. And what did your kind do about it? Nothing. And when we are sick, what one of you would help us even in fair exchange for serum? Why then, answer me, would we help you now?
You've got some sick among you. Maybe I can help. I'm done. Thankfully it wasn't serious, but they're still really weak and need to rest.
You're not like the others. To help us. So yes, we will help you as well, with your vehicle. Saddle the ostriches! We will need time, though, as I am sure it is big, and we can only work at night. Give us 12 hours.
Hey, mister! You got a minute? I need to ask you something. You Zachariah Mancer? You are, aren't you? You're helping out the merchant prince, right?
I guess. Yeah, what's going on?
I don't. My partner died a few days ago. Got sick, just all of a sudden. A lot of folks catching it, but no one cares none because it's only killing refugees. They don't care about us or what's causing it. They don't care that we all seem to be catching it. Sick and dead everywhere, everywhere. No remedy or nothing. Only one who seems to care or help is that preacher's son. But he can't heal everyone. He's just one fella.
Preacher's son healing the sick.
Sure enough. Boy's known for performing miracles. I ain't religious, even less now that my heart, my soul, my love was taken. So I don't know if it's true. Just telling you what I've heard. We gotta find what's causing this disease and get a cure real quick. No one around here has much, and now they're even losing their lives. You gotta help us.
I'll see what I can do. What were your wife's symptoms?
I don't know. I ain't a doctor, but a lot of stomach stuff, cramps, throwing up, just pain everywhere. She was even starting to see stuff that wasn't there. Talking crazy. It was awful.
What about everyone else who's sick?
Most are poor like us, around the neighborhood of the gates. Left the corporations with nothing. Arrived here with nothing. Now they're dying because they can't even afford a doctor.
Let me go talk to other refugees and see what I can find.
Thank you, Mr. Mancer.
Hey, let me ask you a few questions.
Sure. Why not? What do you want to know?
You know the man beside you?
Of course. He's a friend.
How you feeling?
I don't know. Fine, I guess. All things considered. I don't think I'm sick right now, but I've grown real tired looking after him. Don't sleep so well lately because of it.
What's he been up to since he came to Noctis?
Well, we haven't been here for too long now. No steady work and no serum. So what he'd do is the odd jobs here and there when he could find them. Same as most of the rest of us. We all sleep in here. Hang around the city the rest of the day, that's about all of it. Not much else to tell, honestly.
Think he could have eaten something that made him sick?
Maybe. I don't really know. He's been eating a lot from the community soup, I know that.
You haven't?
Well, I woulda, but first time I gone there, I got in an argument with the religious fellow that runs it. About religious things and such, you know? So, I don't go back. Not really welcome. Found other ways to stay fed.
What are his symptoms?
Stomach aches real bad. Yeah, he, has trouble, you know, holding it in, if you know what I'm saying.
It looks like a bacterial infection, and if so, no one is safe here. But hopefully it's just food contamination, or at worst, poisoning. Need to check if all the sick ate the community soup.
Well, almost everyone does. Except me and a few others, so...
I should talk to the people cooking the food. Thank you.
Sure enough. You're welcome. Gonna take him to the preacher's son soon. Hear he's been healing folks left and right.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, my stomach. Oh, my stomach.
I'm trying to figure out what's making everyone sick. Can I grab a blood sample from you? It'd help a lot.
Yeah. If it helps find a cure. Take all you want. Ah!
I should be able to use this to see what's making all those people sick. Let's take a closer look at this sample. Arsenic. Should have known. Symptoms match, but who would have poisoned all these people? These people were poisoned. Had to be the community soup. Need to take a sample, run some tests, and find out what's in it. Hey.
Hello there, Shadow Brother. I'm Greg. My father's the town preacher.
I've heard you've been healing some sick refugees.
I have. The Shadow has blessed me with a tremendous gift. I feel their suffering, and I consume their pain, taking it from them as I guide them towards faith. Their ailments leave them and they stand stronger than ever before. Not all believe, of course. You, though, a Technomancer, knows the limitless power of the Shadow. Knows that it is the heart of all life with the power to accomplish all.
Right, of course, the Shadow. Sure, it's not the soup that's been making them sick? The soup you gave them?
I'm sorry? What? What are you... I feed the wretched when no one else will. Care for them when they are sick. Nurture their bodies and souls. Did you question us as the cause for their ills? You disgust me. Leave us. Out!
You work here?
Yep, I help cook.
You eat here too?
Yes, of course. But only a little. I have a weak stomach, so I don't eat everything that's offered. Why?
I'm sure you've heard about all the refugees getting sick. There's a chance it's coming from your food.
Oh my, I couldn't imagine how. I just take what they give me and cook the dishes how I'm told. That's all. I don't add anything. So the disease must be coming from somewhere else.
Who gives you the food?
Well, I mean, it all comes from the parents' donations given to the preacher's family. Real good people, you know. They can't have anything to do with it. Their son actually heals the sick. So don't go pointing the finger at them, you hear me? It ain't in the food that's making people sick. I'll tell you that.
Let's analyze this and end the mystery. Let's find out the killer ingredient in this soup. Someone laced it with arsenic. Smart. Symptoms look just like cholera. This wasn't a disease. This was poisoning. And that soup's the source. And I doubt it's a coincidence that the source of both the soup and the antidote is the preacher's son. What the hell would possess you to poison all those refugees? What did they ever do to you to deserve that?
Have you ever been adored by people? How generous they can be when you save their lives. When they believe that you healed them, they flocked to my father's temple. Why wouldn't I have done it?
Because people died, and a lot are still suffering. You're pathetic.
Maybe so. But better to be disgusting than stupid. I knew you'd be coming around sooner or later, so I loaded up with bodyguards. Do what I'm paying you for! Kill him! Stop! No, stop! I'm rich! Everyone respects my father in Noctis. Let me live, and he will pay you all the serum you could ever want.
I'm not gonna kill you. Enough people have died already. What you're gonna do is give the antidote to every refugee you made sick, and never go within a block of that community soup again. We clear?
Yes, of course. Sure. Antidote for everyone, yeah, and I promise not to do anything like that ever again. How stupid, I swear. Thank you.
Don't thank me. I already regret not making you pay dearly.
So, you find a cure yet?
I did. Except it's an antidote, not a vaccine. You'll find stocks of the plant that will help you heal everyone in the preacher's son's neighborhood. It's all over now. Don't worry.
Thank you, Mr. Mancer. Thank you so very much.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
I moved the Rover for you. If Ophir finds the road in, it won't be because of me.
Yes, I already heard. Sorry if the request seemed paranoid. Better safe than sorry.
So, just when I thought shit couldn't be worse. Her engine's been blown like a John in a whorehouse. Gonna need some spare parts now. A stator, a thermic regulator, a rotor. With only a few Rovers out there, it's not like you can just grab those parts from the nearest merchant. There is one in Ophir, though. He used to have a machine for me from scratch. And I heard there may be someone else here in Noctis who sells them too. However, when it comes to prices, since we don't have abundance of support, it's not the same anymore. It's gonna cost you an arm and a leg, honey. I wouldn't mind seeing you go broke, but there are other options. Let me think. In my shed, I had a replacement stator ready to go. I imagine that the area is closely monitored, but if you manage to sneak in, maybe you could recover it. I also had a delivery waiting. The quartermaster, Ryan Stewart. I imagine he must still have a rotor in his inventory since I'm not there anymore. It won't be easy to get it back, but that's your problem.
I go back with Ryan. Know his inventory well. Though with all those soldiers in the barracks, it'll be a tough nut to crack.
The final option's a robber I heard of who parts everything he fucking finds. Not a guy I'd want to grab a drink with, but I heard he's got spare Rover parts. May have one of the ones we need. And I've heard that he wasn't interested in serum. Maybe you'll have to take chances, who knows? Anyway, it could be a lead. One last thing. I found the tools I'll need. However, I was in such a rush that I forgot to take my serum. I don't have a single drop of it left. And since around here they don't give away freebies...
Here, take this. You will be able to buy your tools.
Well done. Wow, this is great. You just have to go get me the parts now.
I'll take care of it. The shed, Ryan's inventory, the looter, or if I want to go broke, the merchants. See? I remember everything. Besides your Rovers, what else makes you happy here, Amelia?
Nature. Not the bugs or animals and stuff, but the landscapes, you know? Sunsets, mountains scraping the sky, red water trickling down the hills in the spring, gray lichen floating in the morning breeze. Back in Ophir, I used to take the Rover out before sunrise just to take it all in. Always managed to put things in perspective, you know? How small we all are.
Amelia the poet philosopher. Who'd have thought it?
Why you gotta be a smartass?
Aha, I'm not. I was being... just never saw that side of you. The passion makes me want to take a Rover out before dawn tomorrow.
Well, let's go together. I've always wanted to share it with someone.